There we are. All right, welcome back everyone to Celtic State of Mind with myself, Kevin McCluskey, and Lawrence Connolly. There we go, another 90 minutes under the belt. Celtic 2, Livingston 1, 9 points clear going into the big game on Christmas Eve. I was about to say Boxing Day for a second, but it's not, it's Christmas Eve. Lawrence, what's your thoughts in that second half?
Well,
And we'll skip to the obvious bit a wee bit later on, I think.
Where to begin? Listen, we didn't go off as many shots, looked a bit slack. We're no surprised that Jota come off. It's something we spoke about. We're no surprised that, we said, switch Taylor over, Bernabet come on. A wee bit lacklustre. But all in all, I don't think you can skip me. It's incredulous to believe, right, that refs that have put years into the game, been assessed numerous times, the competency and knowledge of the laws is beyond reproach. All of a sudden, all of them collectively forget the rules to the game. It's just not possible, mate.
That's not. You actually did well to last about 30 seconds before bringing that up. So I thought you might have just gone straight to it. Because, other than that, the rest of the second half was pretty much a bore fest. We didn't really create that much, certainly not as much as we did in the first half. Still dominated the possession, but didn't create that much. But that decision for the goal, it's absolutely incredible. Like you say,
that's not decision.
My
that's
stream,
nobody.
my stream was must have been a couple of minutes behind some other people's because I'm getting all these notifications that are coming through. And as soon as you start to get the number of those beeps coming in, you know what the decision is before it's been made. And you're sitting scratching your head, I think, going, how can they call it? Lawrence, why did they call it?
Well, let's look at it. So it's not directly came from a Celtic player. So we know, right, what they're deciding. The deciding factor is, does the Livingston player deliberately head on that? Because that's who Abada saved the ball from. Was it deliberate? He moves towards the ball and aims his head at it. Looks pretty deliberate to me. Now, it would have been offside if Abada had been interfering with the player. He's not close enough to interfere with him, is he?
I don't think so. He's a good couple of yards away from him. And he seems to be arcing his run in such a way that he's trying to get back on side rather than get towards the player. I actually thought from Abada's point of view, he kind of positioned himself pretty well. And then it was just a really good reaction to pick up on the loose ball rather than anything else. And there's a clear movement of the defender, not just his head, his whole body moving in towards the ball, his head going towards the ball, making connection. It's just a terrible connection.
So there's no doubt he connects with the ball. Abada's not close enough to be interfering with him, so it can't be that. Are they saying it wasn't deliberate is what they must be saying. Yeah, he moved to the ball looking to clear it, and he doesn't, so that wasn't deliberate. Because he didn't mean Abada to get the ball. Is that what they're going to try and interpret this? Absolutely cheating the highest of them. There's no other way to describe it.
That's it. If a centre-back isn't deliberately moving towards the ball to clear it in that position, maybe not entirely sure that the player next to him is offside or not, then what's he doing?
The thing is, it's clear. What takes 4 minutes? What about that decision takes 4 minutes? Right, the Livingston player heads the ball, Abada gets it, it's come off the Livingston player. Did he deliberately try and head it? What takes 4 minutes? About that, you're just going. But what you're saying, he moves towards the ball, moves his head, stretches his neck, heads it. No, it wasn't deliberate. So it's not, we used to get the old split-second decision garbage. Jeez, this is 3 referees, 4 minutes. And as I said, the competency is beyond reproach. They've been through the training. They've passed the rules. It's been decided they're competent to referee the game. Are we meant to think that they all of a sudden, all 3 lose that training, lose the knowledge of the rules of the game, decide to apply a rule differently?
Yeah, all at the same time.
It's absolutely cheating.
Aye. Well, it's either a big coincidence or it's, as you say, it's a bit of cheating. And it seems to be that way because it's almost every single game now this season that there is a talking point by VAR, and it seems to have gone against Celtic in every game, and it's
4 minutes to get
it's not anything that we actually want to come on and talk about.
Even if they forgot the rules, they had 4 minutes. Just Google it.
Yeah.
You know, it's straightforward. So even if it happened, you're kind of like, right, oh shit, I forgot that bit of the rule. What is it? Just Google it, mate. You're taking 4 minutes. You'll find it inside 3 seconds in Google. You know, it's absolutely crazy. You know, it's just a scandal. It's what Celtic do about it now. Because as you said, it's every week. Last night, 2 penalties could have been given. Did Goldson handle the ball? It looks to come off his arm. Obviously, no clear images shown again by VAR in Scotland. You wonder why that is. You know, and it's every game. You know, if it's not penalty to Rangers, it's definitely not a penalty against them. And go for Celtic. No, I don't think so. Let's just change the rules. I've not heard Angie's comments on it, but geez, 4 minutes to come up with that decision.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to hear what he's got to say about that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be raging, isn't he?
He's bound to be, because I say it's not the first time. It is every game. I think the only saving grace from it is that in the end it didn't really have that big of an impact on this game, and that we were still able to see it through. But
well, mate, I think there is a big impact, because see, the longer they get away with it every week, it emboldens the rest to just go, you know what, it doesn't really matter if we apply the rules here. You know, like, they clearly just refuse to apply the rules. What sanctions are the 3 refs going to take that know the rules and refuse to apply them?
Well, then I guess that raises the question of, which takes it away from the game itself, but what can Celtic do to prevent that from happening again? Like, how far can we take this within the SFA, or what would be the course of action? Because it is a recurring theme, and it's one that, you know, we have spent the last 5 minutes discussing it. I don't want to spend any more time discussing it, because it's something.
This is an SFA issue. They can't arbitrate in something they allow, and I would say probably encourage. This needs to go to UEFA or FIFA and say, look, here are blatant decisions that just don't apply the laws of the game. They just don't do it. And, you know, there's enough since VAR came in to go, right, there's a bit of a pattern here. It's not a huge sample size, but every decision can't go for Rangers and every decision against Celtic. And that's what we're seeing. You know, it's... So, you know, what they're going to do if they take an SFA, you remember the Farrie affair. Farrie was cleared with 2 internal SFA probes, but when it got to open arbitration, they couldn't produce any defence. I think that tells you everything you need to know about the SFA. You know, Farrie had a good enough defence to persuade us twice, but when it goes to court, we can't actually produce his defence. I don't think it's changed since those days, since Fergus took them to task. You know, I think Farrie got what did he get? Was it £350,000 payoff or something? And Celtic got £200,000 compensation. You know, what does that say? You were
only
wrong.
one there.
The guy that wronged you will give him £350,000. It seems like a bit of a reward for doing it. And I honestly don't think it's changed at all. But if I'm a manager playing against Celtic, I'm saying throw the ball into the box. I'm telling the players to go down. You know you're going to get a decision. You know, that's why I was really surprised with Goodwin up at Aberdeen, not coming near the Celtic box. I thought, even the Scottish refs are going to have a hard time giving a penalties against us when we're not getting near the box. Said hard, but not impossible. But you know what I mean? It's just absolute disgrace, mate.
It is, and it's something that needs to change quickly, I think. And we'll change the subject on that one as well, because I think we probably could talk for the rest of the evening about VAR and about conspiracies, or basically downright cheating that seems to happen every now and again. For me, to kind of stick to the subject a little bit, the player that loses out, the person that loses out most in that decision is Abada, who I felt in that second half was probably Celtic's brightest spark. The player who definitely comes out with the best pass mark for that second half performance, because I think on the whole it was pretty laboured for most of the team throughout the second 45. But Abada, I thought, was a bit of a spark. He looked lively on the right-hand side. He would have deserved that goal had it stood. Don't know if you share those thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. Abada, you know, you reckon he's keeping his place in the team in that performance. Look, second half we looked a bit laboured, a bit tired. I'm not too sure why. But, you know, November, December's all about getting 3 points. You know, it's a team that's not lost very often since Ange came in. You know, and it's relentless. But at the same time, just because you're not losing doesn't mean you put up with the what's going on. But yeah, Abada done well. Jota very poor, a bit worrying. I think it's been a wee while since he's had that spark. Kyogo's goal, did it lift him? I don't think so, mate. I don't think we saw that reaction we were expecting from him. A boost in his confidence. I wouldn't say it lifted him.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things we'd spoken about at half-time, if that goal would give Kyogo the boost. But I'm not sure if it was the way that we were playing tonight, if it didn't suit him, if it was Livingston having that low block and pretty much 8 or 9 men behind the ball and there not being the space. But he definitely didn't seem to do anything to impact in the second half. I actually had a thought, though, during the half that I wondered, with Jota being so ineffective today, could we change it around at times, that we're maybe not as rigid with the front three that we've got, and you put Kyogo out wide on the left in these sort of games?
I'd love to see.
Because
Liam's a big supporter of that.
Aye, he's got the energy to play there. He does have the movement, and he's got the trickery when he's out there, I think, and I like that fleet foot. So that's another option. And then that also gets Giakoumakis in the park for longer. Because again, you've got to look at that today, it's at 82 minutes when he comes on. Although we get pretty much 7 minutes to injury time, still not that much that he's got to actually impact in the game. So again, I don't know, is that another option that we can use? Just something that freshens up the front three, because at times it does look a bit stale.
I think, as a consequence, sometimes we'll have really the two strikers, or as Ange sees as two strikers. It's clear he doesn't think Maeda is a striker. As much as Liam tells us, that was his position in Japan. He's always played that, and Kyogo's always been a winger. Ange tried Kyogo out with left at Ibrox, and I thought he'd done all right. It's just Edward was terrible through the middle and missed the sitter. But, Liverpool obviously getting boldened by their goal. They came out a wee bit. They were throwing the ball up high, looking to get free kicks or throw-ins just to launch it into a box. I thought they played, they maybe sit in for 10 and then come out for 5. They put in a decent shift in the second half. But, if you're Livingston, what a boost you're going to be getting that goal chopped off, aren't you? You're going to go, oh boys, this boy will give us anything. So, yeah, it was a bit worrying how laboured we were. I thought Turnbull was a wee bit slack with his passes when he came on. Taylor, not one of his best nights. But that being said, when you look at the stats, it's 20-odd shots, 10 in target, almost 80% possession. And I think they had one corner, didn't they? They must have had about a dozen. So, the only thing that was close, I suppose, was a number of fouls. We apparently committed more than Livy.
Is that right? I didn't see that stat coming up, but for some reason, you're never surprised by that one either.
No, a team with the ball will obviously commit more fouls.
Commit some more fouls, yeah.
But it only seems to happen, in certain games. Generally, the rule is in football, if you've got vastly more of the ball, you'll commit less fouls. Apart from,
from tonight,
games involving us in Scotland.
Now, I'm going to have to make a confession and an apology here to everyone that's commenting and on YouTube especially. I've got the controls tonight and I'm not sure how to put your comments up on the screen. So I am seeing them coming in and I'm not ignoring anyone. So I might just I'll try and read some of them out as they come in as well. Because there's one here from Martin McGarrigle who disagrees with you, Lawrence, and I tend to agree with Martin, I'm afraid, when he says that Taylor was man of the match. I don't think he was man of the match per se. I think it would be Abada for me. But I thought Taylor actually had a pretty good performance today, especially when he switched over to the right-hand side, because he kept playing his normal game. He wasn't as effective because he was having to cut inside, I think, a bit more on his left foot, and he did have that chance near the end where you think if it's on the left or if it falls to Ralston on the right, he gets the shot away rather than having to cut inside. But I actually felt he played pretty well when he went over to the right. He kept on giving us that kind of balance.
He could have done better for their goal, I think. He was slack with his passes a few times in the first half, which is very unlike him. Very unlike him to give the ball away. So I think compared to his usual high standards, he dropped tonight. So, yeah, 3-5-2, we're talking about it. It might have been the way to go, see something different.
Exactly. Green Lichty, I've finally figured out how to put these comments up. So
Are you going to have a beer
yes.
after this to celebrate the newfound knowledge?
That's right. Aye. There's a point. Could have gone 3-5-2 when Ralston went off. You mentioned that at half time as well. Do you think that is something actually then that we need to start doing? Because is there a danger that Angie's system gets found out a little bit? And as I think at times, we're a little bit too rigid in what we're doing and we lack a bit of movement at times, especially the front three. They all seem to kind of stay in their set positions. Whereas with a 3-5-2, you can maybe play it even one up, one off, and get a bit more movement, get players running in through the midfield, which we seem to lack in these kind of games.
So, yeah, sometimes it is a bit rigid, but especially when I think, Ralston and off, what options we got at right back, played Taylor out of position. Hope he does okay. Livy weren't really doing much coming down the wings at all, were they? So putting Yents on for Ralston, going 3-5-2. I think they could have played that easily. It would have been something different. They'd have given us two up top because, geez, that first half, the amount of balls across the 6-yard box, just begging to be put away.
Aye, first half especially, we were getting so much joy down the wings. You could see it as the game went on as well. Livy were just packing the box with players, and it was, as I said before, 8 or 9 players in the box all the time, but we seem to have a bit of space in the wings. So maybe 3-5-2 might be something that we could do. It just gives us a different option, especially when you've got Kyogo up there who seems to just drop deep all the time. And when he does that in the current system, you need somebody running in behind, which isn't always there.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something, we could try and maybe change it. It was hampered just kind of with Ralston's injury, which, going forward, we don't know how long it's going to affect him for. We've got Dura back, but he was told he'd have a week off, so does that mean Johnston starts the next game? Who knows if Ralston's out? Maybe a wee bit sooner than we'd like to bring him
in. He's still going to be ineligible, is he not? He'll be registered until first of January.
Is it 1st January?
So, yeah.
If he's ineligible, then, and Eura's been promised a week off, and you even asked Ange in the dressing room sometimes for time off. So, yeah, maybe Eura's going to be rushed back. But
that's it.
Yeah,
he's either rushed back, or it could be a 3-5-2, or it could be somebody like Yents put out of position, which I think he's done that before. Maybe Starfield's played it right, but it does unbalance you a little bit because you don't have that.
Stephen Welsh played it right back for Morton. I don't think he set the hair of the light when he was down there at right back, but what's the other options?
Well, there's very few other options, but there's Graham coming in, kind of reminding us it's winning games. That's the important thing. Is that what gets us through at the moment? We've just got to say, although we've had a few weeks off with the World Cup, we are coming back into a tough run of games, or certainly games coming in quick succession, and it's just about getting through this period and winning the games and staying at least 9 points ahead.
But listen, I think through the season, your performances will ebb and flow a bit. That's the one thing I just got. They just keep winning though. Even if the performance levels dropped, we win. So in all honesty, there's not a lot to complain about his record. What is it? One goal lost and almost 50 odd, one league game lost in 58 or something. It's phenomenal.
He's got a phenomenal record. Absolutely.
So yeah, you're going to be a bit flat at times. I thought Haksabanovic tried to spark things. Abada tried to spark things. I'm surprised if Jota starts. He really looks out of sorts, doesn't he? So next game I'll be surprised if Jota starts.
Yeah, he really does. I was going to ask you as well what you thought about the subs when they came on. Obviously, Bernaby had to come on. That was enforced. What did you make his performance, actually?
Listen, it was okay. They were playing by high balls up against him, trying to get the ball. It looked okay going forward, but we've got a bit of a problem. We don't have a lot to hit in the box when we're crossing the ball in. I think that's kind of a common thing for us. We're getting crosses in, we're getting balls across the 6-yard box. Our strikers at the moment aren't really getting on the end of them. So, yeah, I thought Bernaby was all right. He didn't let himself down. He's fairly solid, but yeah, I'm just hoping Ralston's fit for the weekend. When Turnbull come off, I thought he was a bit pedestrian, a bit slack with his passing. Not so impressed with Turnbull, but Haksabanovic, I think every time I see him, I'm impressed with him. You know, he had a real drive about him. You know, a real will to try and do things, which was needed, I think.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Haksabanovic. I think in pretty much every game that he's played for us, he offers us something different. And for me, as I said at half time, I think he's a player that can play in one and be that number 10 when we need someone a bit more creative. I think it would be an exciting option if you've got an on-form Jota on one side, Abada on the other, Haksabanovic in the middle behind whoever you've got as your striker, whether it's Giacomakis or Kyogo. I think there's potential there anyway for a lot of movement, a lot of pace in that. And in these kind of games, when you're playing an opposition that doesn't want to come out, you might just need that. Because, again, I felt today Hatate and O'Reilly were decent performances, but at times were maybe passengers to a degree, or lacked being able to just play the killer pass that we really needed, or having that just a bit of creativity, a bit of something different.
Yeah, it was. I think it was because it was so packed in the middle, wasn't it? It was hard for them to find something there. But yeah, we were getting joy from Abada down the wing. It's the problem is the things that were working for us to get us the ball into the box. We didn't have many people get into the 6-yard box to finish it off. We didn't have a lot to aim for. You know, Kyogo his goal well. We're all delighted for him. We hoped it would spark him in the second half. Didn't seem to. You know, you're a bit like, doesn't really seem to have boosted your confidence. But said, you know, Livy's got a huge boost from scoring when they did. Imagine you've not been in the game. I think it was like 83-84% possession at Celtic in the first half. You know, it was almost after the 45 minutes, wasn't it? Or just about 45, and yeah, they got a goal out of nothing.
I think it was an injury time in the first half. Right? It was like 42 minutes, and that was the first chance they had. And in the second half, I think they only remember them having one effort at goal. Was it Kelly with the volley?
Yeah, decent shot. Hart does his job.
Decent shot. Pretty much straight at Hart. It was it's one of those saves that I think you expect the keeper to make on first viewing, and then maybe in a replay you realise actually how good it is because it's had to come through all the players and come at distance and at pace. But yeah, they offered very little. But now, a point there, question that's coming in here, or not a question, kind of a statement as such. And James Hislop there. No wonder Gigi's wanting away when he gets about 10 minutes. Is that something? I mean, we spoke about this before the game as something that's going on in the background. You know, myself and Paul certainly think that he needs to get more minutes if you want to encourage him to stay. Have you changed your mind at all on that one, or changed your views on it? That if he's only getting these 10-minute run-outs, we see that Kyogo's not performing. How must that affect his confidence, his belief that he can actually make an impact in the team?
It was on about 80 minutes, 17 minutes. How impressed were you?
Honestly, on that, I wasn't.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, did he do better? I get that he less minutes in Kyogo, but it just wasn't impressed with him at all. Come on, they're kind of going, you know, Livingston are big centre halves. You know, Wobbledy, you know, seemed to handle him fairly well. Him and Moy kind of getting each other's way at one point, but I didn't really see him offering us anything extra. I didn't see anything, but often I suppose that's with GG. You know, it's a loose ball in the box. It's a one-touch finish. Would they have done better with the balls in the first half? The number of balls into the 6-yard box? I'd like to think so, because we're particularly poor about getting in that 6-yard box, weren't we? It was mental, mate. Just how poor we were, I think, anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think one of my notes from the first half was actually to stop playing those balls in, because we were getting no joy from them. It was the same cross every single time and there was no one there. And then I had a habit of doing this at the weekend. I was making predictions and then the exact opposite thing happened. And it happened again tonight. I wrote it down saying, let's stop playing those balls because there's no one there. Abada sticks one in. Okay, it's a defender that slices his clearance the first time, but in it goes. Second goal, it's the exact same ball. So, yeah, what do I know? But there's as we were talking before, wondering what Andrew would be saying in his post-match. Well, it was more about the VAR issue, but here he's saying there will be changes at the weekend based on that performance. You reckon, and I agree, probably Jota will be one of the ones that falls out with that.
Yeah.
Anyone else you would think would drop out? Obviously, there may be concerns about Ralston, but
Has
over and above
Kyogo,
that,
start from the front, has Kyogo done enough to keep his place? Wasn't spectacular. Has Giakoumakis done enough to take it off him? Probably no. It's the toss of the coin with two just now. I think. I think that's what it comes down to. On the wing, Jota definitely out. Abada definitely in. Haksabanovic, I thought he played well when he came on. But Riley and Hatate, yeah, they were a bit quiet, weren't they? Moy looked to be trying to create a wee bit more when he came on. Is it time to get Moy back in? I think Callum starts. So it's who plays alongside Callum and Moy for me. And that's showing it ain't Turnbull.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a chance to change it up and play Haksabanovic.
Yeah.
It's a first ball midfielder and maybe Maeda back in the wing.
I'd like to see Haksabanovic get the start again, because for me, you pick a team on who's performing, who's on form. Abada came in on the weekend, showed that he's the man on form on the right-hand side, kept his place. If you're choosing between Haksabanovic and Jota, who's the one on form? At the moment, it's Haksabanovic. He looks more up for it and more lively. Midfield's the tough one, I think, for me as well, because McGregor's got to start. That's an absolute must. Moy, I've always been on the fence with him since he signed. I liked the thought of his signing because I felt he was one of those players that would come in and play quite a lot of games and do different roles, but I'd never been convinced he had a first team starting role in him. But there's certain times when you just think, he's got a bit of experience about him as well. He's maybe not the quickest, but he's generally pretty decent at picking a pass. And at times, when you're playing against those kind of, as we say, the low blocks and the packed defences, that's what you need. You need a player like him that's just going to do something a bit different.
He's good as well. He's got a bit of dig about him. He's not lightweight. Some other players, I suppose, could be described as a bit lightweight, but not Moy. I just thought, O'Reilly, what's happened to you? But we're touching on it. It's kind of one loss in the last 58 games or something. You've got to say, it's working well at the moment. It could work better though, and I can see why Ange isn't happy. We can easily, Jota's not starting, is he? And I think he'll go, and Giakoumakis is a toss of a coin who starts. It really is. You're like, what are we going to do there? Abada's got to start in that form. That would have been a goal for him had the referees decided to apply the rules as they're written. So then you're 3-1 up and you're going, right, it's a different complexion on it, isn't it? But Haksabanovic, through the middle, it'd be interesting to see him. And I think if Moy and McGregor play, you've got enough cover there, they're wise enough, enough experience. I think that'll give you a bit of extra cover to allow you to put Haksabanovic through the middle.
It could indeed, and I think if you play Moy, you can also move McGregor up one. So Moy can be your 6, McGregor becomes your 8, which is like his best position. You can rotate them through the game.
He's played a double pivot before as well, so you're looking, going, it gives you more options. So,
definitely doing. And talking about options, Celtic down under, they've come in with a man that could have been the perfect option. Tim Rogic, maybe Tom Rogic. What would you have done for a player like him?
He's always a player that I think he's more of a what-if player, as in what if he'd been consistent and hit the heights. Great player, but did he do it often enough and consistently enough? Not for me. He scored some cracking goals, but the invincible treble. But is it him that we need? I'm not too sure, mate. I don't think he's ever consistent enough.
It's maybe not him particular, but a player like him, just somebody that has that ability just to unlock a defence. And for me, I think it could be Haksabanovic. I might bang that drum for a while that he could be the man to be the number 10, but we'll see. Big game coming up at the weekend against.
Second half. Would that describe it a wee bit stale?
A wee bit stale. I think that's probably exactly how you would describe that second half. A wee bit stale. We need someone that's going to break that staleness for us against St Johnstone at the weekend. Before we wrap up for the night, Lawrence, what's your pre-match prediction for that one, given that you've got about 3 days to get it wrong?
I thought you were going to say, what did you think of Celtic Football Club? Back in our single, playing it at Paradise. You know, the glory and the dream. It's in the UK download charts. All the money goes to St Mary's. The Assumption in the Calton. The parish priest, a good friend of mine, Thomas White, or Canon Tom White, as some people call him, but always been Thomas to me. And, you know, let's give something back to the parish that they gave us Celtic after all. But that wasn't the question. It was St Johnstone the weekend, wasn't it?
It wasn't, so, but I'm glad you mentioned that, and I'm probably going to get sacked from hosting a show ever again because I haven't mentioned the single yet. So at least you did it.
Well, wait, listen, we've got the charity auction coming up. The link's at the bottom. It's, you know, let's raise as much money as we can. You know, there's kind of a bigger thing there. You know, it was in East Rose Street, you know, in November 1887, the parish hall that Celtic were founded. You know, in kind of, in many ways, kind of parish halls that have been heart of a parish. St Mary's doesn't have a parish hall just now. You know, and I think it's something that kind of Celtic fans should be looking to rectify. You know, raising money for St Mary's, trying to give that kind of, you know, what was it originally the beating heart of Celtic? You know, try to give that parish back its beating heart. So yeah, we'll do everything, you know, that we can to raise money for them, and that there might be other things in the future. But yeah, buy the single, download it every day, play it on repeat. You know, we don't want Mariah Carey beans. Come on, geez.
No,
you know, I don't even know what team she supports. you know, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, St Johnstone, I actually think we're going to have an easy one against St Johnstone. I think Ange's going to be going through those players. It's not going to be pretty in Livingston tomorrow. Listen, I'm going to be pretty in the dressing room just now. I think I'd be surprised if he's let them out. You know, as much as we're going on about VAR, you know, Ange's on record saying, look, we can't control that. Or VAR and the players on the park can't control that. That's down to Michael Nicholson and the board to act like Fergus would have done. You know, and how long we have to wait in that happening, who knows? Thank God Peter Law was back at the club, and I'm pretty sure that he will now take that on and take them to task. It's not like we'll write him a letter to say he's angry. We completely ignored him, let it go. But yeah, we need someone to step forward. You can't have it week in, week out. I don't think it's Ange. I don't think it's the players that should be taking it on. This is down to the boards, you know, earn your money. Do something about it. Ensure that we've got fairness on the park. You know, what was it Fergus said? You know, look, we won't sit at the back of the bus anymore. But, you know, it's not for us. I think John Reid might have said that when he was chairman. You know, we're all looking for fairness. But we'll wait and see.
Ask in this day and age. Well, apparently it is. But aye, let's see what happens off the pitch. If anything does change with VAR or anything like that on the pitch, let's just keep on winning games. Get another 3 points at the weekend against St Johnstone. Keep the 9-point lead beyond Christmas, and we'll all be happy. We can get
to the break
and the glory and the dream to number one in the charts, and it'll be the perfect Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, last Christmas I gave you my heart at Postecoglou, but no, listen, get to the break without losing another game. It's happy days, but I think we need to step. The board, or corporate Celtic, need to step in and take the SFA task. It's just becoming utterly blatant. You know, it's laughable to think that 3 referees would forget the rules. Would take 4 minutes up to decide if that was a deliberate header or not. Because what they're basically saying with the way the rules are written, that header was not deliberate. Or that Abada, who wasn't close enough to be interfering with the player, was interfering with the player. You know, he's yards away from it. He's not interfering with the player.
Exactly. Either way, whatever the justification is, it's a false justification in that decision. But we'll let KH, whomever you are, kind of get the last word on this one. Tonight, it was all about the 3 points. It's all that matters. We've won the game. It's Celtic 2, Livingston 1. We're 9 points clear going into the game on Boxing Day with St Johnstone. Come the end of that, you never know. Could be 12 points. Lawrence, Thanks very much for joining me tonight. I know you'll be back at the weekend, so have a few days rest. And look forward to that one. Hail, hail.
I do. Thanks very much, Kevin. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.